He's been a very current figure my whole life, which is kind of weird now that I'm vastly older than he is. And you like your stepfather very, very much. I've got lucky. I got lucky with father. Kate Beckinsale once said, I got lucky with father. But the truth behind her words carries decades of pain, silence, and longing. Her father, Richard Beckinsale, a beloved British TV star of the 1970s, died suddenly at the age of 31, leaving his career unfinished and his fans heartbroken. It's been over 4 decades since that tragic day, March 19, 1979, when Richard died of a heart attack at his home in Berkshire. Despite the official cause being a congenital heart defect, many have long believed there was more to the story, that a hidden truth had remained buried. Kate, only 5 years old at the time, grew up in the shadow of that absence. In recent years, she has finally spoken out, confirming what the public had only dared whisper. Her father's death was more than just a sudden tragedy, it was a moment that changed everything. In her words, people were standing in the streets sobbing when they heard the news, proof of how deeply loved Richard was. Today, we retrace the doubts, losses, and revelations that left a lasting mark on British television and on Kate herself. Richard Beckinsale was born in Carlton, a small town in Nottingham, into a working-class family. Though quiet and shy, he had a love for drama and performance from a young age. No one expected the 10-year-old boy to become a national TV icon. After finishing high school, he studied drama seriously, attending a local art school and later being accepted into the Royal Academy of Dramatic Art, RADA, where only the most talented thrived. Though not the brightest student, his dedication and emotional depth stood out. His big break came in 1974 when he was cast as Lenny Godier in Porridge, playing a kind, naive prisoner opposite Ronnie Barker. Their chemistry became iconic, and Richard brought warmth and sincerity to the screen that audiences adored. He soon landed another major role as Alan Moore in Rising Damp, once again capturing hearts with his thoughtful, calm performance alongside Leonard Rosser. Between 1974 and 1978, Richard starred in 2 of Britain's most watched sitcoms, becoming a household name. Unlike many rising stars, Richard avoided the celebrity party circuit. He was humble, punctual, kind, and especially supportive of newcomers in the industry. When asked about fame, he once told Radio Times, "I just try to do my job well. The rest I leave to the audience to decide." But just as Richard was preparing for his next breakthrough, everything came to a sudden halt. On the morning of March 19, 1979, he was found dead in bed by his wife Judy. At first, she thought he was sleeping late. The coroner later confirmed it was a heart attack caused by an undiagnosed congenital heart defect. Richard's death shocked the nation. His shows were still airing and new projects were underway. Ronnie Barker called him an ideal colleague, and Leonard Rosser mourned him as a genius. The sudden loss of someone so young and full of promise led to widespread speculation. Tabloids in the early 1980s floated theories. Some claimed Richard had collapsed from exhaustion due to long hours. Others hinted he had known about his heart condition but kept it secret. A 1980 newspaper even alleged he had fainted backstage and asked that it not be reported. However, those closest to him denied these claims. They insisted he would have sought treatment had he known. Then in 2024, The Times published an article based on declassified medical records, revealing Richard had a rare form of cardiomyopathy that was undetectable by 1970s medical technology unless it was extremely advanced. The new evidence gave closure to some, but for Kate Beckinsale, the truth was personal and painful. Kate was just 5 when her father passed away. At that age, she could form memories but didn't grasp the meaning of death. For years, Richard was more of a void than a person to her, a shadow she carried through her life. In a 2000 interview with The Guardian, she admitted her memories were vague, like blurred movie clips. She couldn't recall his voice, only the feeling of safety when he held her. Her knowledge of him came from videos and the movies her mother kept. What hurt her most was that she never got to truly know who her father was or what he dreamed for her. Her mother tried to shield her from the media frenzy in the years that followed, but it didn't erase the pain. As a child, Kate often lied about her father, saying he was away on business because admitting he was gone made her feel hollow. Part of their life? Kate has also firmly defended her father's legacy. When a tabloid in 2017 claimed Richard's death was due to an uncontrolled lifestyle, Kate responded with a powerful Instagram post. "My father died of an undiagnosed heart condition," she wrote, making it clear that the speculation was not only wrong but deeply hurtful for her. Richard Beckinsale isn't just a public figure or a tragic star, he is a lasting presence, a light that still guides her through life. And now, decades later, his story is no longer shrouded in mystery. Through his daughter's words and strength, Richard Beckinsale is remembered not just as a brilliant actor, but as a loving father whose untimely death still echoes through generations. Kate Beckinsale once addressed speculation surrounding her father's death by saying it was due to a medical condition, not something the press had fabricated. "Lies like this not only insult him but also hurt those who truly loved him," she stated. While her words drew widespread support from fans, some journalists accused her of being overly sensitive and of unnecessarily digging up the past. Kate did not respond to these critics, but her continued social media posts showed she had no intention of staying silent when it came to defending her father's legacy. In 1982, controversy erupted when the BBC re-aired Porridge in an edited format, claiming to remove unnecessary extras. Fans quickly realized that many of Richard's scenes were either shortened or cut entirely, sparking widespread outrage. Viewers flooded the broadcaster with complaints, demanding the original versions be restored. Although the BBC cited time constraints, fans saw it as a disrespect to Richard's legacy. A deeply emotional detail came to light years later through Judy. A few months before his death, Richard had planned a trip to Disneyland with Kate for her 6th birthday. He had quietly begun saving and preparing. The plan was never fulfilled. On Kate's birthday that year, Judy explained the meaning behind the Disneyland photos in her father's office. The little girl cried for hours, though she never spoke of it again. Kate kept a photo of Disneyland in her wallet as a symbol of that unfulfilled promise. Though Richard projected warmth and approachability on screen, his family's silence remains a shadow. Questions about his relationship with his children, marital pressures, and the impact of fame remain unanswered. Perhaps in that silence, each family member found their own truth. Today, more than 40 years after his death, Richard Beckinsale's name remains etched in public memory, not solely due to reruns or interviews, but largely thanks to Kate. She has become a guardian of her father's legacy, refusing to let him be reduced to a comedy icon or a tragic biographical note. Her actions, from reposting photos on his death anniversary to speaking at public events, have transformed Richard into an emotional figure for new generations. A Channel 4 documentary aired in early 2025 reignited interest in Richard's life. Although some criticized the documentary for focusing too much on his death, it introduced millions, especially younger audiences, to his story. Social media exploded with clips from Porridge and Rising Damp. Fan pages reemerged, and people who had met him shared heartfelt stories. One fan wrote, "I met him at the BBC in 1977. No celebrity attitude. He stopped to sign an autograph for a little boy. I was that boy." Simple yet sincere words like these help explain why Richard Beckinsale still resonates across generations. Kate has also taken on a more active role in heart disease awareness, not just a donor, but a public speaker. She shared her personal story at Oxford in 2025, saying, "My father's death wasn't a lesson. It was proof that we must invest seriously in early detection of heart disease. I don't want any child to spend their life asking what if we had caught it earlier." In memory of her father, Kate is also spearheading a personal project, a complete digital archive of Richard's photos, letters, and documents, set to be released by the end of 2025 through a platform managed by the British Film Institute, BFI. It's not about fame, she said. It's about ensuring his memory is preserved accurately and respectfully. When asked why she still speaks so openly about her late father, Kate simply replied, because he deserves to be remembered properly. For her, Richard Beckinsale isn't just a beloved comedian or television figure, he is the origin of her emotions, her memories, and her understanding of loss and love. In a touching recent clip, Kate is seen lighting candles at her father's grave, holding an old photo. Her eyes are red, but not crying. Beside her stand Judy and Lily, a three-generation portrait of remembrance. Richard Beckinsale may have left this world too soon, but he lives on not just through tapes and television, but through Kate's devotion and storytelling.